Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Lili Nishmasi Mimarosi Ruspas Mordechai. 1,000 daf into Shas. 1,000 daf today. Unbelievable. Mazel tov to all the people that started with us. Brachas. And if not, you'll get there soon. By Shimon Sorek. I know you get a lot of pictures of people learning the daf at weddings. I do chuppahs for secular couples, and learning while it's waiting for things to start isn't just quality time to do the daf. It shows people who don't often see a rav or a from guy that kihem chayenu v'arich yameinu. And this is how we spend our time. I just thought of this when I was a caterer. Somebody sent a picture to my wife, because I used to give the Daf Yomi shiur then, an anonymous picture that meant a lot to my wife. She hung it up. It was a picture of me learning during a wedding. Like on the side, somebody snapped a picture, put it in a frame, and said, "This is how your husband spends his time wisely," and it meant a lot to my wife. So over here, and this is how we spend our time, to learn Kesubos, and write a Kesuba. Adds so much to the experience. Thanks for making the daf so enjoyable. Oh, he's a Kesuba master. Here he is with his Kesuba and a Kinyan Sudar thing and his Gemara. Thanks for making the daf so enjoyable and something to look forward to. Shimon, the kibbutznik from Sdei Eliyahu. My brother and brother-in-law, we just had him here. Leib Leichter, right? Leib or Leibi? Leibi Leichter. My brother and brother-in-law both watched the shiur when convincing me for months to join. My initial reaction was, why join an online daf? I was fine waking up early, going to live shiur. Then COVID hit. I finally, whatever the word is, and saw one shiur. That shiur was Masechtas Yuma, and that day's daf was about Kmitza. And he spoke about the Kohen Gadol should be having big hands, etc. And then you gave an example showing a picture of Shaquille O'Neal holding a water bottle. Please understand that I do the daf early in the morning. When I saw you pick up that picture, I laughed so hard, I woke my entire family. It was around 5 a.m. Since seeing that picture, I've not missed a day, and it brought many others to join MDY, just telling them that story. And there was a guy here in the shiur, I don't want to mention his name because his daughter just got married last night. He's like, what are you, crazy? You're going to bring such a thing in middle shiur? How dare you? You can't get home, Muslim. So, some people have it like that, and some people came to the shiur because of that. You never know. You win some, you lose some. He's not here, and I think this guy, Leiby, brought many more people to the shiur than that complainer guy. Additionally, this trip, I'm here for a wedding. Listen to this. He rented a car just to come to shiur. I know that. He told me. And he came every single day when he was here. He just left 2 days ago. But what was really inspiring was hearing the others flying to Israel, learning the whole way. He got inspired by people learning Torah on the way. I got upgraded. So he told me the story. He said, he told Hashem, he made a deal. If I get upgraded, I'm going to learn the whole way. So he got upgraded, and he learned 9 daf in Megillah, but he fell asleep at shtickle, because listen, he had business class, but he learned 9 daf, and he promises that he's going to make a siyum on the way back. He's going to finish the rest of Megillah. Yeah? There's a guy that went to, what's the name of the yeshiva he went to? Ner Yaakov. He's a Ner Yaakov boy, or Sameach, and he's learning. What happened was, he says, he wasn't sure, maybe it's not 100% a sign from Hashem. He gets into business class, is Elal, and they offer him Castel. So I said, Castel? You mean Castel Petit? Yeah, the other Castel. Okay, fine, Castel. It's the Castel. He says, sign from Hashem that he has to learn the daf the entire time. I can honestly say that if it's not for the shiur, I would have slept the entire flight, or probably watched a movie or 3. But did not waste the opportunity. I hope to make a siyum on Megillah before I land. Side note, 2 people on the flight came over to me and noticed me learning every time they passed by and inquired about the shiur. Can't say thank you enough. Your Talmud who patiently waiting for the next shack example, or others that are similar. Leiby, Leichter. Here's the picture I found that I showed then. He's holding a 2-liter bottle, and that's what it looks. No, it's not 2 liter, but you know what I'm saying. Dear Rebelli, I know you're a fan of new ideas, so here is one. Listen to this, the 2 of you. You're not going to believe this. Remember I gave you an idea a month and a half ago? Here's the idea. On Wednesday, I sent my wife your shiur on Daf Samach Gimel. I asked her to watch the beginning portion of the shiur on Rebbe Kiva and Ben Kalva Savua. She thoroughly enjoyed it. I know you're busy, but what about starting a weekly recorded 20-minute shiur for the women of MDY so they can better relate to what their husbands are doing each day? The shiur can highlight a hatzlacha or a story from the previous. Unbelievable. I had such inspiration. I went over to Noam and Avi and Shadi. I said, listen, I got the greatest idea. We're going to do a shiur for women because they feel left out. They feel like it's not fair. We go to Shachris and Mincha Ma'ariv, we hear shiurim. What about the women? They said it's a great idea, but you know what? I didn't do my own advice, which is do it that minute. Start the shiur on Shabbos, grab a video camera, no, chas but that inspiration fizzled away, and now I'm like, okay, it's a great idea, but wow, chaval, I didn't start it then.
Are you inspired?
What?
Are you inspired to start?
Nope, not now. Then I was. The inspiration walked away. What?
We need to come up with a great name for the women.
Yeah, we need a great name. Oh, MDY. Givaldic. I went to the dentist to have a procedure done, and asked the dentist if he minds if I wear my ear pods and listen to something. I put on your shit to study the daf, as I knew I'll get at least a few minutes of entertainment too to distract from the drilling. Lo and behold, you went all out of a Rebbe Kiva and Rachel story, which kept me going through the entire procedure. Pictures Dr. Mark Eisenberger from Tom's River after the procedure, where I showed him how I made it through 43 minutes of drilling. Make it a great day, Joel Wall. I'd like to thank Rebelli for your time. It means, so last night I was on a Zoom call just with the Manchester Chaver. 45 people are on the call. It was Givaldic stuff. And Be'ez Hashem, we don't have the exact date, but it's all the way in the beginning of November. We are, Be'ez Hashem, going for a siyum in London and Manchester. Your Talmud, Yossi Dahari Shabbos Daf Beis. You're coming with me? You should come. How about you guys? You're coming to Manchester? We're looking, the guys are coming in from New York. It's going to be a Givaldic time. Here's a beautiful picture of Yossi Sounders, who's on the call last night. Here he is on top of the Eiffel Tower, in front of the 100 people, the other tourists that were there. This is what we call Good Morning, Rabboisai, L'Shem Shomayim. The first time that somebody was mamish, he went all out, even though mamish made bizyonis neirois. Here it is, L'Shem Shomayim. Good morning, Rabboisai. Okay, he held back a little bit, but still, it was unbelievable. Dear Rebelli, I've been in and out of Yeshua for the past few years. I usually use it as a supplement for my local Shiur Chavrus, but something about Yeshua that really struck a chord with me. When you mentioned Avi Mandelbaum's sickness, I couldn't help but cry. I interacted with him multiple times on the Zoom and watched him blow the shofar. Yeshua unites Klal Yisrael. Besides the value of learning every day, unite Klal Yisrael as one. Hashem must be so proud of us. Now to Avi. The Shiur needs you. Let's beat this thing and blow for MDY once again. Regards, Ephraim Sanzer. Do we have an, it's late. Okay, I'm just going to, this is a very long one from Mordechai Groskopf. He says that who should he give thanks to the MDY? Should it be Avi, Noam, Gary? He mentions all the names. Yosef, the editor. He says, no, it's the wives behind the scenes, the Rachels that push their husbands to do everything. So Yishkoyach Mordechai Groskopf. Thank you thank you all for making sure the shiur happened. It has changed my life. Here we go. The Koilo is sponsored the entire month by Avi and Rachel Kamiansky, Mary Rachel's mother, Reza Gidel, Bas Esther, Rita, Shvi Melitza Yosher, on behalf of us and our children. The second sponsor of the Koilo for the success of our family and that we merit to always crown Hashem. The Masechta is sponsored by Molandi, Lili Nishmas, Yosef Baruch, by Moshe Aaron, Lili Nishmas, Moshe Loza, Ben Nata Shalom, and for that Slav, Chalayon, for my children. The second sponsor of the Masechta, Jeff Razin, zchus, my son, is the Simcha Chaim and Chana, Refuah Shlaima. The third sponsor of the Masechta for the rest of the Masechta is Ofishel Mitzva Motivators, Refuah Shlaima for Avraham Menashe ben Chana Brocha. The Panas HaChodesh, Michael ben Melo, Motty Perl Aaron Hirsch, to be able to make it to Uman Rosh Chana this year. Panas HaChodesh number 2, Eli Stefansky ben Moshe. Panas HaChodesh number 3, the MDY Family, Eli Ezra Pollak, ben Yitzchak, Ezra Pollak. And Paras HaChodesh number 4 by the Lock and Lebovic families, Lakewood, New Jersey, because Torah is the best gula. We had the zchus. He's not here today, is he? No. Okay, he was here for 2 days straight. Whoa. Le'ilu nishmas, the Ben Ish Chai. Moron Rabbeinu Chacham Yosef Chaim mi Baghdad, Zichet Tzaddik Kodesh Levracha, zchus yogan aleinu, Bala Seir Ben Ish Chai, Ben Yoyada. Oh, I got 2 Ben Yoyadas today. I didn't realize this is yard side. 2. By Joel Ornella. Whoa. Oh, here they are. He's the guy. Okay. It all comes together. In honor of MDY and Reb Eli spreading Torah, let's do a siyum at a powwow. Okay, what is that? At a powwow. Queen. The Rabbi Sai, Baruch, Dayan Emes, to all the English people, they take this very, very seriously. Somebody, in fact, even sponsored today. Queen Elizabeth. She was an example of malchus, leadership, longevity, and consistency. I didn't write this. Somebody in England wrote this. Refuah Shlaima, not to that guy that wrote it, but Ben Sin Shalom Ben Shalamis Esther should have Refuah Shlaima. Okay. Who? Yehuda Shuk from Lakewood. Yeah. Baby girl, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. Okay. 1,000 daf into Shas. It's incredible. 1,000 days ago, we moved into this room. 1,000 days ago. It's 1,000 days. It's a long time. Unbelievable. And the back isn't even finished. We don't even have chairs. Okay, look at those pictures. We didn't have lights. We had like a projector. It was dark and no windows. Okay. Omar Rabbi Yossi. We're holding 4 lines from the bottom of Daf Samach Daled Amud Beis. Rabbi Yossi, Shiur on Motsei Shabbos. I don't want anybody asking on the groups on Motsei Shabbos, what time is Shiur? I know you're here. I know you heard it. It's at 9:30. Motsei Shabbos, 9:30, okay?
Guarantee I'm going to get a bunch of messages.
Yeah, there's always. Omar Rabbi Yossi, Lo Posak Sa'irim. So it says in the Mishnah that Rabbi Shmuel says, only Rabbi Shmuel who lived next to Edom, he would give double the barley than wheat. Says the Gemara, what? Only next to Edom they eat barley? They don't have chont everywhere else. Says the Gemara, why are the barley? Why do you have to give double the amount to the wife when it comes to barley? Double than wheat. It's only if you live in those areas. Typically around the world, you can make barley bread from the same amount of barley as you'd give wheat. But not in Edom. Edom you'd have to give double. In other words, each place, you have to look at the quality and you have to give the wife these meals. My chavrus was asking, and he liked my answers, I'll tell it to you. He's like, it seems from the Gemara that a bread is really, a meal is, from one bread you can make 2 meals. So why is the husband giving the wife 3 meals per bread? You're ripping her off. It's like a real meal is 2 meals per bread. Why are you giving her 3 meals per bread? It's very small meals. So I told him perhaps those shiurim of meals are for men. We're larger, we eat more. And it was like, because he thought that's more like it's not fair then. Okay, fine. So, but you see that it has to do with where you are and what kind of quality wheat or barley you have. Says Gemara, you have to give a lot of beans, half a kav. Says if you notice in the Mishnah, he doesn't provide her with any wine. Top of Samach Amud Aleph. Ein poiskin yenois leisha. You don't give a woman wine because it'll create more of a taiva for relations. Vim toimar elcha achrei mahavai. It says in the pasuk, let me go after my lovers. In other words, she's eishesish and she has other people she's thinking about who give her noisnei lachmi. They give me bread. Umeimi. They give me water. In other words, they give her a drink. Tzamri upishti. They clothe me. Shamni, they give me oil. V'shikuyoy. Now, what is shikuyoy? It can't mean water, because it already says umeimai. So l'chayr means they also give me wine. So you see, it's normal for people to provide wine to the woman. Says the Gemara, no. Perhaps we could say dvarim sheishim shtekekes aleim. Things. It's a lashon of yearning, wanting. What does a woman really want? Umayninu tachshitin. She wants jewelry, and these people are giving her jewelry. Dorsh Rabbi Yehuda ish kfar neviraya, v'arilo ish kfar nefar chayil. For chayil. How do we know that you don't provide a woman with wine? Shenemar. It says by Chana. It's interesting. We're coming up on Rosh Hashanah, and this is in the Haftarah of Rosh Hashanah, all about Chana, and she invented new ways to daven. So if you look at the pasuk, I just highlighted the words. It doesn't come out so good on the screen. But achla is in pink. The rest of the pasuk I did in red, but not so clear over here. And shasai is in blue. Because achla is talking about, it's female, it's she ate. Shasai is talking about her husband. After she ate and he drank. So the Gemara wants to be medayik that he drinks, a man drinks, not Chana. She was davening, maybe it's not good to drink. Okay, but as I state. It doesn't say that she drank, Okay, so it seems like the husband drank and she didn't drink. So you see from here, you don't give your wife wine. It's not a good idea. If he's there, so it says in the pasuk, only she's allowed to eat. If you're going to make such a diuk, it seems from the pasuk, only he eats. Only she eats, he's not allowed to eat. If you're going to make such a diuk, only he drinks and she doesn't drink. So only she eats and he doesn't eat. So it can't be. No, I wasn't making a diuk from the word chasoy, zachar, not nekeva. I was saying, look, we're talking about her, about takam chana. She got up. And all of a sudden we're switching to another person. So I was saying from that diuk, not from the word chasoy. We're talking about her. My time is shani. Why did it flip to him? He drinks and she doesn't drink. But it says, Regila, if she's used to drinking, then you do give her. So you see that you do give a woman wine. Well, the teretz is mineu bay. It says mefurish the teretz. Regila, if she's used to it. Okay. So the Gemara, Regila shani. It's different. If she's accustomed to it and it doesn't cause typhus and all sorts of things, okay, she could drink. Now here's one of these lines that's like a riddle. Regila, if she's, how do you say, not used to, accustomed to, if she's accustomed to drinking noisin la koisechad. She'ena regila, if she's not accustomed to drinking wine, noisin la shtei koisechad. You give her two. Well, it doesn't make any sense. A person who's accustomed gets more than a person who's not accustomed. Michael Amar, what do you say? If she is accustomed to drinking wine and her husband is there, so what if her husband is there? So initially when you read it, you think, oh, her husband is there, I'll take care of her, I'll make sure she behaves. Not the pshat. Because the Gemara continues to say, and Rashi points out right away, the pshat is, because if her husband is there and she has a taiva, he could fulfill her taiva. It's like pas basala for her. But if her husband is not there, what is she going to do? Can't increase her taivas, so you only give her 1 cup. However, that's if she's accustomed to drinking, she's a good drinker. If she's not rugil, she's not accustomed, so even if her husband is there, you only give her 1. And if her husband is not there, don't give her anything. What's the pshat in the riddle? That if she's accustomed to drinking, give her less than if she's not accustomed. Regila, what? No, it doesn't say drunk. Just, tipsy, increasing taiva. Regila, noisim la here, yikasha. Regila, noisim la letziki gdeira. If she's accustomed to drinking, you give her wine not for. So in other words, rugil over here is not talking about drinking. Rugil over here is how she cooks. So if she's accustomed to cooking with wine, you give her wine for cooking, not for drinking. I once had a magnet on my fridge. It said, I love to cook with wine. Sometimes I even add it in my food. Okay, so over here, the wine is not for drinking, the wine is for food. Another very, very wealthy individual and his daughter-in-law, we said already that you have to give the daughter-in-law, you have to give your wife based on what you're accustomed to. If you're wealthy and you fly private jets, you have to give that to your wife as well. So they said, okay, you know what we're going to give her? Sasayim yayin, which comes out to approximately in our days, 30 liters of wine per week. That's a tremendous amount of wine, only for cooking. Merev Shabbos, Lerev Shabbos. Once a week, you'd get a delivery of 8 gallons of wine. Omer Lahen, it seems like there's a shaila here. What exactly was she trying to be nice or trying to be mean? Most people say that she was being a little mean. She gave them a little bit of a curse. She was not happy with this. For her sweet 16, she got a Rolls Royce. They're going to give her now 30 liters of wine. What are you kidding me? It's a joke. So she says to the Chachamim, Kach tifseku livnei seichem. I give you a curse. That's all your daughter should get. Now, the Gemara says, but it was a nice curse. For them it was great. Halavai, our daughter should get 30 liters. For her, for the snob, 30 liters is nothing. But for the Talmid Chacham, 30 liters is that's all they drink a year. So the Gemara says, they would have said Amen, even on that curse, because it was a nice amount. But since her husband died, and that's why she went to Bezdin to get her mezainas and her wine, and she told Bezdin, here, what do I deserve? How much food? And they said, somebody like you're so accustomed to wine, we'll give you 30. So she was really cursing them that their daughter should lose their husbands. So they couldn't say Amen. Tana. One cup of wine is fine, it's good. Relaxes her, it's okay. Shnayim nivalu. But 2 is already, it's not good. It's a disgrace, she starts acting crazy. Shloisha, you give a woman 3 cups of wine, tuivaz bapeh. She already demands relations straight out. Arba, if you give her 4 cups, afil chamar tevas b'shuk, she'll walk over to a donkey and donkey in the ve'er makpez, and she won't even have any busha. So I didn't realize it's his yahrzeit today, but the Ben Yehoyada says an amazing thing. Check this out. I did a chart for it. Nekeva plus yayin. Nekeva is 157. Nun is a 50 and 100 plus 2 plus 5 is 157. Yayin is 70. It's 227. What do you have when you put a nekeva together with wine? Rabbi Sai, you're not going to believe it. You get a zachar. She starts acting like a man. That's what the Ben Yehoyada says. Okay? It's exact. There's no without, you don't have to do with the koilel, nothing. It's 227 straight out. Okay?
Women at MDY.
Huh?
Women at MDY, that's cheaper this year.
Yeah, exactly. The first shot of WMDY, Rabbi say, women, don't drink wine because you'll start acting like your husbands. Okay, Givaldik. What a musar. I love that cheer. Zakti Gemara. So this is what we were saying before. Rava says, this is all good when her husband's not there. We don't care. She could get even 2 cups of wine. 3, listen, 3 is not good. 3 is, she's out of control. But 2, yeah, you have to stick in here. I'm talking about 2. The difference between 1 and 2. If her husband's there, it's fine. There's no chashash. Ask the Gemara, this is where Rashi got it from. Chana, the Bali Ima have a Chana. Her husband was there, so how come she couldn't drink? She didn't drink at all. Says the Gemara, she was a guest. And when you're a guest, it's usher, and this is where Rashi takes it from. It's usher to be with your husband. They got up early in the morning, they went back to Ramah, and then, only then, when they got home, then they had relations, says, so you see from this pasuk, only now when they got home. The bottom line is, for us, Nagel and Maisa, the Shulchan Aruch paskins, that it's really usher as a guest. However, because they give you a room where the owner of the house doesn't go in, so you have the privacy, and there's one more condition, you have to have your own sheets, towel, whatever, that there's no bush afterwards, then it's mutter. Says the Gemara, a fascinating story, one of the famous ones in Shas. Chuma, the Visuda Abaya, we had her in Yavamas. She was a very beautiful woman who was married to 3 Amoraim. And all 3 Amoraim died. And we had in the Sugya of Chazaka, Abaya married her after 2 already died. Rechava and Rabbi Yitzchak, Barabbas Chana. And then comes Abaya. He wanted to marry her, but she already killed 2 husbands. Is she katlanis? Not a katlanis. He passes like Shimon Gamliel that a katlan is only after 3 times, not after 2 times. And Rava said, look, you see, I'll go upon him. So she comes as a widow, because Abaya was just nifter, so she needs to get mezainas. What are you going to do? Her 3rd husband dies. Asaylik Hamed Rava, she comes to Rava. Omerlei, Psaikli Mezaini, no, give me some mezainas from my late husband's estate. Pasakla, so he gave her. Psaikli Chamra, I want some wine. Omerlei, Omerla, Yodana Bey ben Nachmeni. Nachmeni is Abaya's name. I know that he didn't drink wine, so you're lying to me that you deserve wine. He never gave you wine. So there's a rach that says that Abaya, we know, comes from Eli. He was a Chaim. Abaya was always hoping that Mashiach is going to show up right now. and he didn't want to be drunk when the Beis Hamikdash came. So he never drank wine. Rava knew that he wouldn't drink wine. And he made the cheshbon that if he didn't drink wine, his wife also didn't drink wine. She says, no. What are you talking about? You're right. Abaye never drank wine. He's a kohen. I'm not going to serve in the Beis Hamikdash. He treated me well. He gave me wine. Omrlei, Chayedamar, I swear. He would give me wine. B'shufrozi kehai. Let me show you, like this big. She went like this. She stuck out her hands, like that much wine he would give me. When she was showing him the size of the goblet, her arm was exposed, came out of the sleeve. It was like a light. Her beauty like shined up the room. It's a mashal. Come Rava Olevese. So Rava ran home. Tava lebas Rav Chizda. We know the famous story that the daughter of Chizda, when she's very young, she sat on her father's lap and she pointed. She said, "I'm going to marry Rami Bar Chama and I'm going to marry Rava." And Rava says, "Let me be second," because he knew that if he's first, he's going to die. And Kachava, she married Rami Bar Chama, and now she's married to Rav Chizda. He comes home in the middle of the day. Rava comes home in the middle of the day, which is not his derech. He never came home in the middle of the day. And he tells the Bas Rav Chizda, let's have relations. Omer Le, Bas Rav Chizda, she comes from Rav Chizda's house. Man have, tell me what's going on here. Who came to Bezdin today? Omer La, Chuma, the Visa da Abaya. Chuma. Says the Gemara Novka Basra, she chased after Chuma. Machtala bekulfe deshida, she hit her with the lock of a how do you say? Of a chest. In other words, some say it's a leather lock. La mishanet. She got a gezunta beating. And the abkala mekule mechayza, she chased her out of mechayza. Amr La, and the daughter of Chizda says to her, Chatat lichtlasa, you already killed Rechava, Rabbi Yitzchak, and Abaya, v'asas lemikdal achrina. You're coming to kill a fourth one. Now, in Kail yesterday we had a big tumult. Because I learned the pshat that she's referring to her husband. You're coming to kill my husband? Says my chavrusa, no. Look at Rashi. It says ish. You want to kill people, general men. Says Tomer, yeah, that's how we learned also. Kids the whole thing, and then Eliakim said like me. But Baruch Hashem, Eliakim went and found in the Ben Yehoyada, and it's so geshmag. I never really argue with Tomer and learn. He comes every morning to the Beis Medrash. And I showed him the Ben Yehoyada. Ben Yehoyada says a new pshat in the sugya, and I know Tomer is a huge Ben Yehoyada fan. He learns Ben Yehoyada before he even learns the Gemara usually. And then once he saw that, he was checkmate. Ben Yehoyada learns different pshat. He learns that Rava didn't want this woman to show up again and try to convince him. So what did he do? He tried to fool his own wife. Rava knew, I'm not going to be able to take care of this woman. Let my wife take care of her. That's Rav Chizda, she's good. She came out, he says, no. And then what happened? And then she went, she chased her, Kacha, his plan worked beautifully. Okay, but Kopanim, you see, in the Ben Yehoyada says that Bas Rav Chizda was talking about Rava. I don't want you to be machshel my husband. Okay. The visit of Rav Yosef, Bered Rava, the wife of Rav Yosef, the son of Rava, Rav Yosef, she came to Bezdin, I want my food, my husband died, Pasakala, he gave her. I want wine. So this is the sugya. Does a wife get wine? Doesn't get wine? Pasakala. Some places you get wine. I know in your place, Rava was the Rava over there. Yeah, in Mechayza the women drink wine. The visit of Rav Yosef, Bered Rav Menashe Mitvil, Rav Yosef. With my, I don't know if I should say this barabim, but I remember years ago, my wife drank, we were at a place, she drank Bartanura. Asti. It's like 3%, 4%. She drank like a half a cup. She was rolling on the floor. She and my sister-in-law, I'm serious. Today, she just drinks Castel. The Castel's for her. I drink a little bit, she drinks that. So it has to do with if you're used to it or not used to it. Okay, over the years. The visu the Rav Yosef, Rav Menashe Mitvil, Asad Kamed Rav Yosef. Again, comes to another Rav Yosef. I need food. Pasakala. Psak Chaim, give me wine. Pasakala. Gave her. Psak Shiroya. Now I want clothing. Amallah Shiroya Lama. What do you need clothing for? Amalei Lach V'Chavrach V'Chavrurach. What do you mean? I don't want to be degraded in front of you and your friends. I have something to uphold. I have to look decent. It says that one of the things the husband is mechuyev to give his wife is a mat, a harder mat, a softer mat. Says Gemara, so look at this picture for a second. If she's sleeping on this very comfortable leather bed, you take leather and you stretch it out from side to side. Why in the world does she need a mat? It's not going to help her. No, it's one of these beds. Check this out. You have a bed like this. This is all from the art scroll in Kalim. Beautiful pictures in the Mishnayos over there. Shkoyach art scroll. You can't sleep on this. You might flip it. You might fall between the string. Whatever. It's just not comfortable. You go back and forth. Okay, but she needs a mat. Okay, makes sense. The Mevager law. I'll keep her on the bed. Torah Rabbanan. Hey, noisim lo karakesses. He's not going to give her a pillow and a blanket. You do have to give her a pillow and a blanket. Hey, Chidami. So this is what are you talking about? If she's used to it, then why not? Is she accustomed to it or not? In his mishpacha, or at least he himself, he likes blankets and pillows. But it's not her. It's not her derech. He's a nice guy. You know what? You live in your own little house over there. Because the whole mission is talking about that there's a shliach. She's not living with him. He has a few wives. This one lives in this house. So he sends her food. He said, you know what? When I come to visit you, I'll bring you a pillow and a blanket. What? You want to be like me? On that day that I'm there, you'll be like me. Interesting. What if you come Erev Shabbos right after Shkia and you're not going to be schlepping in Rosh Hashanah pillows and blankets, which is also. You can't bring it to me. And you're going to steal mine. Nice guy. This guy is unbelievable. I'm not buying you a blanket and pillow. Sleep without a pillow and a blanket. I can't imagine sleeping like that. But not only that, if you have your own, I'm going to come and chop it away from you. And you throw me on the floor. Says Gemara, he holds, Rav Nosson holds, you have to buy her a blanket and a pillow. You're talking about the aniyos. Okay, we can't get into it again. They were so poor then. Shisha miskazim talsecha. 6 talmidim would use one little blanket. We don't know what it is. We have no idea what was going on then. V'noisen lo kipa, and he has to buy her some sort of beged to cover the head. Amud Beis. Sponsored in honor of Yankee Baum and Moshe Horn. Brach hatzlacha b'chol inyanim. And second sponsor is zchus being able to support the Uman Torah. Amen. She continue making a lot of money and to finish learning Shas with rebellion. Haitano shliach artiloi v'romim misane. It's an interesting saying that they had in Bavel. It says the guy is running around naked, but he has his shoes on. Don't try to picture it. Why is the Tana so busy giving her shoes? 3 pairs of shoes that she needs. And no, once a year clothing and 3 pairs of shoes. I don't want to mess up the joke, but I couldn't look into it. I once heard Rav Lastri say that there was a taxi driver kept looking to his back seat, kept looking back. Oh, so the guy in the back seat says, I don't understand. What, you never saw a naked guy in your taxi before? He says, no, I was just curious how you're going to pay me. Okay. Fine. This is Rav Lastri, not me. Now 3 guys from Gates just left the shir. We're talking about in mountains. And they need a lot of shoes in the mountains. She needs at least 3 pairs of shoes. And we're also telling you, if you're already going to buy your wife shoes, buy them on Yantiv. Interesting that the Bia Halacha brings. He says that if a person is so poor, he can't afford a gift for his wife for Yantif, which is a mitzvah d'oraisa to buy your wife a gift on Yantif, you should buy her a pair of shoes. That's what he says. So just to point out, today is exactly 30 days to Erev Sukkos. So we're saying a halacha for Yantif. The halacha is that it's just as important to buy your wife a gift for Yantif as it is to buy an esrog. They're both d'oraisas. It's Reb Shlomo Zalman. Yeah. What on when it was the Rabbanon? Yeah. That's Reb Shlomo Zalman. Beautiful. I was going to say that story. Somebody came to him with an unbelievable esrog and he says, Rav, how does this look? He says, wow, this is beautiful. How much are you paying for this? He says, $110. He says, $110. And how much are you spending on your wife's gift? He says, go give that back. Take a esrog that's kosher. I know I'm hurts your business to hear these kind of things. No. You know what you should do? Have gifts for women. Say, esrog here. You're thinking about gifts here. MDY esrog store. Unbelievable. Buy your wife's gifts, Rabbi Isai, and start planning now.
I'm opening a shoe store.
Givaldic. Okay. In 1 year, and there was another story, I don't know who the Rav was, he says, listen, this year, esrog is only the Rabbanon. It comes out on Shabbos. But the mitzvah of buying your wife a gift is the right, so that stays forever, so buy her that gift. V'kelim, there's a picture of the stipler running Erev Yantif, when all the jewelry stores were closed. He bought her like an iron board or something weird, like, yeah. I did. You see this? This scar right over here? V'kelim shechamishim zuz. V'kelim shechamishim zuz. Omer Abaye. Chamishim, what? So I asked yesterday when I was learning, Chamishim zuz, what? It's a quarter of your ksuba. Okay, so just learn one dav weiter. It's like these yeshiva guys learning for 4 months. Chamishim zuz, 25%. You just go one dav weiter, has the answer right here. Omer Abaye, Chamishim zuz pshite. It's 1/8 of what you thought it is. A ksuba is 8 times the amount. We're not talking about the zuz of tsuri, which is a lot of money. It's, you take that zuz and 1/8 of that and 25% of that. Okay, fine, now it makes sense. Somebody do the math. Let's say, I didn't do it. Let's say Kesubos is $1,500. What's 1/8 of $1,500? How much? 1. Okay, 190. And 25% of that is $50. $45. Okay, so it's not, you're buying your shoes for, now it makes more sense. Okay, fine. No, you're buying clothing for $45, not $4,500, not $450. Okay, fine. Omer Abaye, Chamishim Zuzi Pshite. It's from Pshite. Because it says this whole thing is talking about somebody that's very poor. A guy that's wealthy. Like we saw that they gave her Nakdim, gave her so much wine. It's lefi his wealth. If it's the tsuri, the expensive stuff. Where can he afford $500 stuff, clothing for his wife? We're talking about $45, not the end of the world for him. You don't give her brand new clothes in the summer, it's too heavy. If she has leftover food, you give her this tiny portion of bread, 3 per loaf of bread, 3 meals per loaf of bread, and she even has leftover. She's on a diet, goes to the husband. But the extra clothing that she has left over, it remains by her. Why does she need that extra? That we don't want the husband to say, oh, you're wearing the same clothing that you wore. When she's tar, she's going to become a guna on him because she's wearing the same clothing. In those days, they actually used to walk around with white clothing, and like some people want to prove from here that when it comes to busha, when it comes to harchakas, so you don't say, oh, it's embarrassing, I could pass something to my wife because people are going to know I'm a nida, it's in public, I'm embarrassed. From here you see that you don't have that teretz. Because she wore specific clothing that said, hey, you're telling me. So this is interesting. Before we said if she has leftover clothing, it goes to herself. However, if she's being supported by the Yarshim, they get it. Why? If she's married, we say, okay, she gets the extra for herself, so she has 2 sets of clothing, so that she doesn't become repulsive to him. Listen, she's not married. She's going to be repulsive to the Yarshim? They don't care. Says Gemara Kesubos said in the Mishnah that she gets to eat a meal with him. Now we're talking about again. She doesn't live with him. She has a house over here. He comes to visit. She gets to eat with him on Leil Shabbos. Says Gemara, what does it mean, the Lashon Oichel? Yeah, Friday night meal. Talking about relations. Now, look at Tosfos The top Taisus, one line. I want everybody to look at it for a second. Do a laning on Taisus. What is bothering Taisus here? Anybody? Even a person who travels and is away from home for 30 days or 6 months, a sailor, sapon, okay, so Taisus L'chair is being bothered by the following question. We already learned the halachas of Aina. There's a whole Mishnah. It says, if you're a sailor once every 6 months, if you're a Talmud Chacham every Shabbos. So we already discussed Leil Shabbos to Leil Shabbos. So why in the world does the Mishnah bring it again? Oicheles on Leil Shabbos. You're just repeating yourself. If oichel doesn't mean literally a meal, you're talking b'lashon naki, you want to say it hidden. You already said it 2 daf ago in the other Mishnah. It says Taisvis, no, I didn't say that 2 daf ago. I'm telling you that even if you're a sailor, but if you don't live in her house, you're shalish, the last word in Taisvis. You have somebody taking care of her. You send food with a third person, a third party. You mechuyev every single week. Now you don't have your heter of once every 6 months. Now your chiyuv deraisa became every single week a beautiful Taisus. You just have to see what's bothering him. Why he says this one line. What's going on here? And if you feel bad that you didn't get the pshat and Taisus, this morning I asked somebody from the kollel how he learned and he didn't know. Whatever. A real Talmud Chacham, a big one. Guy that did over 1,000 daf tests and got over 90. Whatever. He had a little, then he said, yeah, you're right. That's the pshat. Okay, fine. The Kev Shechamishin, what? Be'ez Hashem, you'll come to the kollel when we move here. Okay, I get it. Where are we? No. We're holding. No, okay. V'tnan. Let's get to the end. Tnan. Well, just to the end of the parak. If you're talking about literally, she eats a meal with him, it makes sense. Okay, she eats with him. If it's relations, why such a lashon? It's a nice way of saying it. We're talking about zchus. She ate and she washed her mouth. So it's not talking about her mouth, talking about something else. And she said, I didn't do anything wrong. So you see, you try to use a lashon naki. She eats 2 meals, Friday night and Shabbos. It makes a lot of sense. There's Friday night meal and there's a Shabbos morning meal. First of all, it's aser in the day. There's iser because we explained there's 3 reasons. One of them is become repulsive. But if it's dark, then it's like night and it's mutter. The question that the Rishonim ask, okay, it's mutter, but why you tell me she has to? Beautiful pshat. Says the Ritva, because we're talking about a guy that's mechuyev twice a week. He's a laborer. He's chayiv twice a week. Mechadish, the yikvi yotzes chiyuv, one after another, back to back, Friday night and Shabbos morning. Vim hoisa minika, and if she's a nursing mother, Darish Rabbi Ula Rabbi Pischa de Benesia, he said this drasha by the doorstep of the Nasi. Yes, we had also. You're a very bad guy if you don't support your children, but you're not mechuyev. We can't force you. Monetarily, we can't put you in jail and force you to do it. However, we could force you. The really young ones, you are mechuyev. At kama, what's a really young one? Ach ben sheish, till a 6-year-old. You hear this? You could tell Ari to go on his own. Shalom Yisrael. Here's a picture. If you have a house, and we're starting to get divorced over here, and there's a little machlokes, so the father takes his chalas and he puts a 2,000 amma away from the house, and he says, I'm going to the left. The mother and the little child, she makes her own eruv. So which eruv does the kid use? He could only use the mother's eruv because he's dependent on the mother. It says in our Mishnah that if she's a nursing mother, she doesn't have to earn as much as she used to earn. And he has to add a little bit food. What does it mean he adds a little food? He adds a little food because he has to add for the little kid. Dilma, no. Maybe the pshat is she needs more food because she's a nursing mother. As we know, nursing mothers need more. But it's not about the kid. You have no raya that has to support the kid. Imke and listening hatzlacha. So then why doesn't it say straight out if she's sick? Why does it say that she's nursing? So it's talking about that he has to support the kid? No. We didn't welcome Ashmelon. This time Menika. Listen, do they have to fast on Tisha B'Av? Not fast. I'm telling you Chiddush. If she's a Menika, it's another Chiddush. If she's a nursing mother, she's considered a sick person. Itmar Refuah ben Levi, and this comes to contradict everything we learned until now. Give her more wine because it's for the child. It's for her nursing purpose, not for the mother. For the child. Hadran Allah chafal pi. Hadran Allah chafal pi. Hadran Allah chafal pi. Have a wonderful day. A good Shabbos. 9:30. Motsei Shabbos.